Powered by Riverside.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Who is Kyle Graham podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Graham. Thank you for joining me today. Before I get started, don't forget to press the subscribe button on any of these platforms if you're not aware, to get notifications of any brand new episodes or bonus episodes, whether on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, iHeart, or whoiskylegrahampodcast.riverside.com. Press the subscribe button and you get notifications of bonus shows and new shows. Let everybody know about Who is Kyle Graham. Get the algorithms up. Algorithms. I said it right? I hope I said it right. I got a little tongue tied. Get them up. I'll work on that next week. Get those up so everybody knows about Who is Kyle Graham podcast. So subscribe, the whole nine. You got comment sections, everything, to let me know how you feel about the show and so forth, especially for this week's episode in particular. I believe it's probably one of my, will be, or possibly one of my most controversial type episodes. Because I haven't done this with the previous show at all, and haven't like kind of made a discussion or made a topic out of it. I made comments here and there about this. So this episode is the N-word, why we use it so much. I mean, we as the African American culture, this is what I'm talking about. So in the form of rap music, television, and film, and stand-up comedy, why do we use the N-word? Not the ER, but the A. So there is allegedly a difference. In my opinion, there's not, and we'll get into that right now. I find it kind of interesting within the last couple of years, and more so recently, that the more, how can I say, increasing amount of the N-words being used in television shows and movies, mainly African Americans. And for some reason, they think if you put the A on it, oh, it's all love, man. Yeah, it's about love and this and that and the other. ER is evil and all that. No, they're both the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're both the same thing. There's no term of endearment. There's no like, oh, we're taking the power away from them. Nah, you're taking the power away by minimizing it. Now, you'll never get rid of the word, but you can minimize it by not using it so much in music, television, film, and stand-up comedy. You know what I'm saying? The word is still the word. For example, if you put a pig in a tuxedo, that's a pig in a tuxedo still eating his shit. That doesn't change anything. He's still a pig. You know what I mean? Now, let me make myself clear. I'm a foul-mouthed heathen like everybody else. I curse, I say motherfuck, fuck this, kiss my ass, and whatever. But I won't say that word. No. It's because to me, with the history behind it, it's not necessary. So when I'm watching movies or of African-American movies, African-American shows, I'm already anticipating how long it takes for them to drop the N-word when it's not even necessary. Most recent, like with The Shy, the Power, or Nemesis I've been watching, it's a matter of seconds, you're already seeing the N-word. Now, I get it if you're trying to understand that where these characters are coming from and so forth, but I think that's hack writing. That's lazy writing. You can show and tell someone what background they're from without using that word right from the rip. The sentence starts with it and it ends with it, and at times it's not even necessary. It's like a pop-up word when you least expect it. You can have cats in suits chilling, businessmen successful, and for some reason they want to start calling each other that. I never understood that. The Shy in particular, Lena Waithe is very particular to protect her own lifestyle, alphabet community, but she let that N-word fly like it's crazy. They say that word so many times in that show. I'm thinking I watch a '94 Tarantino movie. That's how many times how often they say it. Same with Power, The Wire, and so forth. It's not necessary. It's really not. Being a writer myself, I don't put that in my book or none of that stuff. Stuff that I'm ready to put out there is not that. I don't say it in my day-to-day life. Like I said, I'll curse with the best of them. I got a foul mouth. but I don't say that. I think it's just something about that doesn't make any sense. It incenses me when I sit there and I watch, and it's just ongoing. So I'm wondering, like, when you are rapping, and a lot of the music that I love growing up, say it, you know, I can't stop them, can't stop anyone saying that overall. But it's like, I wonder why you put that in there. Do you think it rhymed? Do you think it fit? Do you think it's something? When the comedian's on the stage and he says it nonstop in front of non-black audience, do they feel comfortable? Do they mind? All that stuff. When you're sitting at a table reading, these actors and actresses or whatever are saying these words like nonstop, repeatedly in front of non-African American people, how do they feel? Do they feel comfortable saying it? Do they feel comfortable writing it? Because if you notice with our race, we're the only one that let others call each other that and us. But if we go and we, you know, color outside the lines, and we say something derogatory of a nickname towards Hispanics or Asians or whatever, all hell breaks loose. Or we say something derogatory for the alphabet community, all hell breaks loose. Because they come together like they shut that down. And they at least minimize it. And I think we need to minimize it. It just doesn't make sense to me every time. I always say to, you know, friends of mine about Abbott Elementary, I'm like, man, if Abbott Elementary was on the ABC network, I could see Ava dropping N-words like crazy. It's like, it's a necessary thing. It's like, it's a policy that they have to say, like in every show, like every African-American show that's now on network television, there's like a quota they have to meet to say the N-word to get the green light for the show to come on. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like if you have a network show, they last for a while, and it's comedy or whatever. But if it's drama, you know, it seems like they don't last long on the network. But you put it on streaming, you got your 5, you got your 6, you got your 7 years. You know, I guess per script, they got to drop a quota of N-words. It's not necessary. Again, the ER and the A is both the same. It just doesn't make sense. But I challenge you out there who's like, Kyle, you don't know what you're talking about. You uppity, blah, blah, blah. I challenge you. If you think it's okay with the A, not the ER, for one day or a week, change your first name to the N-word. With the A, not the ER, and just change it. And let people just call you that all day, every day. Full of love or whatever, as they call your name, and just be called that all day, every day. Again, with the A, not the ER. And I bet you within the first 20 seconds, you can't do that challenge. No, because since you love it so much, you say it so much, just change your name. Change your name legally. You know what I mean? Or just go around with business cards. Like, hey, like Prince had the symbol. This is your name. You don't want to be called, you know, Michael or John or no, Dave. No. You want to be called the N-word. If what I'm saying to you doesn't make sense, or you feel as though it's like, nah, I think we're cool, like it is a term of endearment. Well, just prove to me, put in the comments, get at me, and explain to me that we need it in jokes as a punchline. We need it in shows like A Power or The Wire or Nemesis or The Shy. Like, we need that. That's hack, lazy writing. Anyone can write a script full of N-words. Anyone can write a page, starting it and ending it. You don't. There's a billion words in the world that you can either create or just pull from the vocabulary and still make that character that you want to make a thug or a gangster cool. You can, and it's possible. You just got to want to do it. You just got to challenge yourself. Again, I don't understand it, and maybe I'm missing something. And maybe something you guys have to point out to me, because I don't get it. What is it about that we are drawn to in all parts of entertainment? But to get to the point now, like I said, I didn't want to watch an all-African-American show at times that's streaming, because I already know it was like within a second, it's like, we're going to inbound. And it's not necessary. It's not necessary. I'm like, you just as bad as Quentin Tarantino. Like, Tarantino use it now. He uses ER and the A, and his reason is I grew up around them. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I grew up around a lot of different cultures. I don't disrespect them and call them derogatory names in front of them or behind their backs or whatever the case may be. We allow that. And it's cool. You know what I mean? I remember I was in New York one time. It's like Hispanics in there, and they flinging the N-word around like it's crazy. And I'm like the only black cat up in that joint. And I'm like, do you realize like I'm in here? But in their minds, it's like, oh, it's love. It just isn't because there's an A on it. Because we taught them like with an A is cool, with ER is wrong. Nah, man. Again, a pig is a pig, regardless in a tuxedo or not. He still eats his shit and he still does his purpose as a pig. It's still a pig. The N word is still the N word. A or ER, it's that. That's what it is. So like I said, now this is going to be an ongoing topic because I'm going to bring people on to get their opinion. But I want to know what your opinion is. Put in the comments. Get at me. Let me know. If you agree or disagree, if you feel as though that we need that word, like it's necessary, like, oh my God, I can die without that word. Like it doesn't make sense if we don't have it in music. It doesn't make sense if we don't have it in day-to-day talking, and it doesn't make sense in gangster thug, you know, when it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make, like, explain to me, make it make sense to me. Because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm just out of whack with this. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. But I just find it interesting, like, I was watching Nemesis today before I, you know, started the show. About 5 minutes in, boom. They already seen it. I'm like, why? Why? Why refer to each other like, why? And again, with the actors, I asked them, like, don't find it weird saying this in a room full of people of non-blacks? It's constantly saying it over and over and over again. Or handing the script to a white executive. It's filled with the N-words, and he's reading it, and he's reading it to his pals in the boardroom while you're not there. And if you think that that word is okay with the A, not the ER, show up to work the next day. Go into your board meeting. Go into the store, go to the counter, go to whatever you're working at, and just say it freely to anyone. Just say it. And in return, change your name and let them call you that. Don't call you by your name, just say it. But like I said, if I'm missing something and you feel as though that it's okay and there's a logic behind it and it's something of a term of endearment, then let me know. Because I don't get that. I remember one time where, it was like a couple of years back, Kendrick Lamar was doing the show. He had a white woman come on stage and said, repeat my lyrics. He repeated the lyrics and, of course, had N-words in it. He got mad at her. And I was like, well, you said repeat. She repeated exactly what you said. Now, I had some people say, well, she shouldn't have said it anyway. I'm like, why not? The instructions was repeat my lyrics. She repeated it. Why would she mute herself from a word that's there? Now, if she just randomly said it and just started throwing it in there, then I'm like, yeah, she's wrong. He said, repeat my lyrics. She repeated the lyrics verbatim. He didn't say everything but that word. He just said, repeat my lyric. And she repeated it. So why are you mad at her? When Kanye and Jay had their song N-Words in Paris, which is a stupid title, Gwyneth Paltrow repeated it, she got in trouble. And I was like, well, that is the name of the song. You put it out there, like, that's the name. Like, you play, it's there. It's in it, like, you can't censor people from what you put out there. And you want to make money, you want them to groove and bob their heads, you know, at your shows and all that. Like, if you put it out there and you want people to know your work, whether it's comedy, movies, TVs, or songs, and it's there, and the punchline is that, or that's just based around, and they're telling their friends about it or whatever, you can't get mad at them. You wrote it. You wrote it. If they're telling a joke and the punchline is the N-word or the setup is whatever, and the N-word is part of it, and they want their friends to laugh, and which means you might gain another fan. Oh man, I gotta check this guy out. Oh, he's great. Or she's great. So they're gonna tell them the joke. Man, this joke is funny. You should have heard what he said. So if they do it without it, it might not be the same. So they're gonna tell them the joke straight up. So you can't get mad at them. You put it in there. If you need N-word for a punchline, then you need to really sit down and rethink everything over. Because we don't. We can minimize it, but we can't delete it, unfortunately. But we can minimize it like other cultures and other lifestyle people. They minimize it big time. You know what I mean? Like The Shy. The Shy got straight stone cold killers on there. They N-word bombs every day. But all of a sudden, someone lives a different lifestyle, lean away from making sure they're very PC about it. They call it by the proper name. And I'm like, well, why that? And she has a company called Hillman, Hillman Production, based off of, different world, Hillman University and all that. I don't remember Dwayne Wayne calling Ron out an N-word. Last time I said N-word was when he was sending a message about it, and it was the ER. So why do we use it? Courtney Kemp, why do we use it? You know what I mean? Lena Waithe, why do we use it? Why do you have your team of writers writing it? Why do you approve it? Challenge yourself. Remove it. You still have the same kind of show. The shows are great. Actors are awesome. The writing is ticky-tacky with the N-word in there. You don't have to. You can remove that, and the script is still strong. I guarantee you that. It is. And if you think I'm wrong, then you got to check yourself. Whether you fan of the show or people, again, you got to check yourself. Then again, I challenge you again, change your name to that for one day, for 1 week, or and see how far you get. And I mean in life, but just your temperament about it. I really feel you see something different about that. I do. So, like I said, challenge me. If you feel as though it's okay to use because it's an A and it's a term of endearment, prove it to me. Make it make sense. Put it in the comments. Get at me. I'm not hard to find. Who is Kyle Graham? Just Google it. I told you this. The platform's got comment sections. You got Instagram. You got my full name. Look it up. Find me. Let me know how you feel. And you know what? Bring you on the show. I'll bring you on the show, and we can talk about it. And like I said, this is not the end of it, because I have some people in mind I'm going to bring on. A lot of topics that I have discussed, I'm bringing people on to kind of revisit it, get their point of view, because they kind of live in the entertainment world dealing with situations like this and using these words and so forth. So that's coming down the pipeline. It's just something that was on my mind I wanted to bring up and just kind of bring it forefront here on the show. Same thing, like I said, opinions. This is an opinion. This is my opinion only. And I have one and you have one. I'm not going to not like you if you don't agree. You know what I mean? If you just, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. You get mad at me for my opinion. This is how I feel. And I think it's unnecessary. Period. It's just an unnecessary thing we don't need. You know what I mean? So, all right, I may give you an example here. There's something I wanted to get into. And I don't know if this person said it or not. So I got a double bubble on Fetty Wap. All right, so let's start with this one. So, Florida principal placed on administrative leave due to Fetty Wap yearbook quote. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I think she might have said it or they might have glossed that out, but who knows? Normally, like I'll give an example. Another example. Normally, magazines and TV shows or whatever have a problem, saying a word. Like I seen a clip of one of these shows, and they kind of muted out all the curse words, but made sure the N words came in clear. I'm talking about with the A's. They made sure that shit came in clear. And I was like, why are you making sure that word come in clear, but you can't say the other words? Something to think about. I'm telling you. All right, so says the principal in Florida was placed on administrative leave after a Fetty Wap lyric was attributed to her in the school yearbook. Katie O'Connell, the principal of Trout Creek Academy in St. Johns County, was placed on administrative leave after a lyric from the rapper's 2015 song Trap King was attributed to her on the first page of the yearbook. The yearbook page, per a photo obtained by the local news outlet there, included a picture of the school with the words, "Everybody's hating, we just called them fans though." And that's what she put, right? She's repeating the lyrics. However, O'Connell claims she did not write or approve the quote. She approved the yearbook twice on April 9th. So did my assistant principal, Samantha. She threw her under the bus. My assistant principal, Samantha Saruki, and that quote in that area was not even in the book. She told the news junket there. The principal was told she isn't the principal also says she isn't typically called Mrs. O'Connell, as she goes by Miss O. O'Connell received a letter from the St. Johns County School District stating that she would be placed on paid administrative leave vacation beginning, this was like last month in May. A second letter said that this action is being taken as we move towards a non-reappointment for the 2026-2027 year. Now, it goes on, and it's other quotes in there, but so what's interesting, like I said, about what I'm saying now and what I said before about just kind of like repeating quotes, and it goes on. I think that the quote actually goes a little longer, maybe a little more detailed, but again, it's funny how can I say this? It's funny how people pick and choose what to say and what not to say, freedom of speech and so forth. And although I might not get the quote, and it goes on and it says some other little bit of, not say derogatory, but slang or whatever, they should be allowed to say that. If that's a quote, whatever, freedom of speech, that's what you're teaching, they should be whatever. I don't get it. I don't see what the big thing is. I don't know why they put on vacation early for that. It's not a big deal. You know, I don't see it that way. I'm like, and I'm sure you hear worse in the hallways. And I'm sure the individual yearbooks is a lot worse than when people sign to each other than what is printed here. And again, they have the right to say it. They have the right to say what they want. And the only people who are offended, I guess, are those who don't listen to Fetty Wap or don't listen to rap music or don't get it or whatever. But I don't understand. Look, at the end of the day, I think we pick and choose and go after the wrong stupid things. It's a rap lyric. I think, like I said, the article, it goes a little bit more. Continues with, I never heard this song. I'm not a Fetty Wap fan. But, again, it's one of those things whereas, I don't know. It's a sticky situation with me on this one. I don't know. I mean, they put her on vacation for something that is not a big deal. And she's saying she didn't do it. She overlooked it. Then she threw her assistant principal under the bus. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, she didn't get in much trouble. Like, you know, the similar administrative leave with pay. We call that vacation. If you went on administrative leave without pay, like, yeah, your ass is in trouble. If they send you on administrative leave with pay, like, you on a vacation, you cool, you still got the job when you come back. They just trying to let everything settle down and be quiet and just whatever. Out of sight, out of mind. We'll clear it up and then sweep it under the rug. Hopefully it'll go away. But, like I said, listen, a couple of things here. And I try not to get too political, but everything bleeds together. You have to write what you want to say, whether ERA or any other weird stuff. No one has to agree with it, but I don't think it's a huge issue at all, unless someone made it a huge issue. But it says some more stuff that I don't like, that they put in yearbook following his song, but I don't know, like, there's other stuff we need to worry about than that. There's other bigger things in the world and other stuff these kids are doing than writing a rap lyric that has some, you know, sketchy lyrics to it or anything like that. It's more, we just kind of go after the wrong things, in my opinion. I don't understand. I don't get it. And again, she'll get away with it. Like I said, she's on vacation early. She chilling, and they'll probably throw the assistant principal, you know, get her fired or suspended because she's like, hey, I looked over it and it was left in my assistant principal's hand. They said her name, and there's like, all right, well, you going on vacation, and we need a scapegoat for this. Maybe assistant principal. You ain't been there like a year. You know what I mean? Like, hey, last hired, first fired. Who knows? But look, people want to say stuff. And this is an example, whereas you can't get mad for, in my opinion, I might be looking at this wrong, everybody. I don't see no harm what they said. They repeated a lyric. and listen, it may be a little offensive, the more detailed. I think longer than that. I don't want to go through the whole long article, but kids say a lot worse things verbally, and I'm sure individually, if you go through every single yearbook that was signed to one student to another, you're gonna see some shit in there to be like, ooh, okay, all right, ooh, you know what I mean? So I think this is kind of overreacting type thing, and it goes into like, I don't know, freedom of speech. And they have the right to say that, whether you agree with it or not. And again, I'm not a Fetty Wap fan, so I'm not too familiar with the song. But occasionally he's popping up everywhere now, because I got another Fetty Wap situation where he's getting involved in what appears to be something like a wrestling or MMA type thing. So it says rapper Fetty Wap gets physical at GCW tournament of survival. It was a crossover like no other. Last Saturday, as American rapper Fetty Wap and his 1738 brand joined forces with pro wrestling veteran Nick Gage and the MDK all-day persona at GCW's Tournament of Survival in Atlantic City, New Jersey, making his first appearance in the square circle. The musician didn't get much time to interact with the crowd before Tony Deppen interrupted his set. Then things turned brutal after dropping some wrestling lore on Deppen by quoting The Rock. He slapped a drink out of Deppen's hand before cracking several light tubes on the wrestler's head. Gage supplied the rapper with the light tubes. The fans were fired up, and most of them applauded his efforts. A clip of the scene was posted on X, with many still wrapping their heads around this viral moment. It's unclear if Fetty will return to pro wrestling scene and possibly train to be part of some in-ring combat with popular musicians have such as Bad Bunny, Jelly Roll. Fetty Wap is an iHeartRadio Music Awards, Billboard Music, MTV VMA Video Awards, and BET Awards recipient. His commercial success began in 2014 with the debut single Trap Queen, which is interesting. Now, a lot of hip-hop artists like Lil Yachty and then other artists are getting, like, for some reason, they're crossing over into doing wrestling now. They just like popping up and getting in the ring and training or whatever. I watch wrestling, avid, I'm an avid watcher, as you can see with the Roman Reigns t-shirt. I don't like shit like that. I don't like when like entertainers cross over. Sometimes it's corny and it cheapens it, and it makes it even worse than what it is. Because it just don't fit. It's like casting for a movie. Sometimes you have an idea and you cast that person to play a character and it just doesn't work out. So it's like when Jelly Roll wrestling, you kind of just you go with it. Bad Bunny, who did pretty good. Actor Stephen Amell, who played in Arrow, did really good. When you get the real corny shit back in the day when Jane Leno got in the ring, and sometimes it gets out of hand, and it cheapens it more than it is. And sometimes you wonder, like, well, why are you doing it? Are you bored? Are you looking for another stream of income? Which is a good question, because Lil Yachty is like popping up on WWE every week, and some are saying he's training. Travis Scott was involved in wrestling also all last year, training to get involved and so forth. Then the question again is like, I know you love it. Is it because you can, because of your status? It's not an easy thing to do. Is it for the cash? Is it for what? So, wrestling is a multi-billion-dollar business, and you get, viewership all around the world. And sometimes they do collab with, celebrities outside of it, and they kind of help each other out. Help you go a little bit more mainstream, like WWE is now ESPN and so forth. I don't know what Fetty Wap is doing. Like, I don't follow him. I heard of him, obviously. Never followed his music at all, but I just found it interesting. The last two articles was just his lyrics on Trap Queen that he's popping up here and Atlantic City wrestling and so forth. I just found that kind of just interesting I don't know I don't even remember the last time he dropped a single at all. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you a Fetty Wap song if you played it now for me. I know what he looks like, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't know none of his songs or how many albums he dropped. But I know he's been very successful. All the accolades I named, he won a lot of awards, and during the 2010s, that mumble rapping shit. He was with the littles and the babies and all that, and he's one of those guys. You know what I mean? But I couldn't, man. I wouldn't know a song if you play. I don't hear it. Like, I wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like I like with a lot of these artists, like Fetty Wap and whatever's current outside of the megastars of Drake. A lot of their songs, they last for a short, little bit of time, a little bit of a time frame. You know what I mean? They don't last long. They don't. It's like a lot of them don't have a lot of staying power. They just don't. They don't have there's not like a story to tell. They're not saying anything. And I always had this conversation recently again. I seen online a lot of hip hop artists that are no longer rapping. Their songs are still playing everywhere. Music, TV shows, movies, the whole nine. They still, have some staying power. But someone like a Fetty Wap, like I said, I wouldn't know a song. I haven't heard it. It's not played enough. Like, I guess you gotta really maybe go on YouTube or Spotify to hear it. But I don't follow that. And I'm not shitting on him, man. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna ease up on him. I'll ease up on him and just leave him alone. All right, let's talk about some real icons, some real rappers. Yeah, I took a shot, throwing shade. Jay-Z, I got a crazy one right here. Jay-Z and Eminem to reunite on the new RAKIM, KURUPT, and MASTA KILLA collaboration album. Jay-Z and Eminem will reunite on the new RAKIM, KURUPT, and MASTA KILLA collab album. Last Sunday, June 7th, the project A&R and executive producer M80 shared the track list for the upcoming project. Track 6 is listed as interlude featuring Hove and Shady. It says, it is unclear if they will rap on the guest appearance. If so, it will be their first musical collab since 2001, Renegade from Jig is the Blueprint. The classic track finds Hove and Marshall dropping some of the most memorable lines of their careers. Do you fools listen to music, or do you just skim through it? Jay raps while Slim serves up, I'm a motherfucking spiteful, delightful, eyeful, the new Ice Cube. Motherfuckers hate to like you. I mean, that's a shit. Come on. The new RAKIM, KURUPT, and MASTA KILLA album is slated to drop in August. It will also feature guest spots by Snoop Dogg, what the fuck, Raekwon, Ghostface Killah, Daz Dillinger, and the Blastmaster, KRS-ONE, and more. Woo! Jay-Z have been more in the public eye in 2026. Earlier this year, he did an interview with GQ last month. He headlined the Roots 2026 Roof Picnic, where he performed a viral freestyle and took shots at Drake, Ye, Dame Dash, Nicki Minaj, Tory Lanez, and more. Hov is scheduled to perform 3 sold-out shows in New York City next month in honor of the 30th and 20th anniversary of albums Reasonable Doubt and The Blueprint, respectively. Damn. Now, dig the move. There's no way in the world, there is no way in the world that you're going to have Jay and Hov on this album and I have them drop something. I mean, it's an all-star dream team of an album. KRS-ONE, you got Snoop Dogg, Daz Dillinger, damn, dude, now RAKIM, like, come on. You can't pass something out, but they have to jump on the track with RAKIM. You can't mess up that moment of just not having J, M, RAKIM, MASTA KILLA, or KURUPT on one track. It's the way in the world. So hopefully they do that. But to have the lineup that they have is nothing but lyrical assassins and producers. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's right there. And we know it was messed up. is that although they have all this iconic, legendary talent on there, the album itself might not make Drake numbers, but the talent itself will outshine Drake's album. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to say that again. The talent on there, the album itself may not make Drake numbers, but the talent alone will outshine that album, period. Because you just got nothing but heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. KRS-ONE, RAKIM. Ah, damn, what? Snoop Dogg, what the fuck? RAKIM, MASTA, KILLA, KURUPT. And a possible, maybe, you don't know, because it might be a surprise, Jay and EMINEM pop up on the track. Not just an interlude, but pop up on the track and might be spitting something. You never know. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy thing about music is that it might not get the numbers and the album might be dope. It's just, it might not be pushed the way a Drake album would or Kendrick Lamar's, but it's still a dope album with the talent just on there. Like, my God, you can't go wrong with that. And I go back to what I said last week. The cast that they named, MJ, MASTA, Snoop Dogg, what the fuck, RAKIM, KRS-ONE, Dash Dillinger, are all in their 50s. And they still killing it. And they're still doing their thing. Jay, sold out tours. Jay doing more shows. Jay just announced that he's doing a show at SoFi Stadium in LA. Now, is Jay-Z announced a 2026 concert at SoFi Stadium, get discount tickets. So the 25-time Grammy winner just announced he'll perform a one-off concert celebrating the 30th anniversary of his seminal 1996 debut album Reasonable Doubt in Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium on Friday, October 23rd. Notable tracks from the record include Ken Knock the Hustle featuring Mary J. Blige, Brooklyn Finals of Notorious B.I.G. and Dead Presidents 2, amongst others. No word yet on whether or not he'll play songs from other albums in his deep back catalog. So you say deep back catalog. They could have worded that differently. Prior to his gig, the last time the 99 Problems rapper performed in the Golden State was December 2017 when he headlined the Forum as part of the 444 tour. He quote, he used his new material to recontextualize his older hits in intriguing ways, giving hip-hop most consistent loud performers the one thing his shows have sometimes lack a series of surprise. This won't be the one show Hova performs this year either. Prior to the Inglewood show, the 56-year-old New York native headlined the Philadelphia Roots Picnic Festival, where he delivered a 32-song set, according to the Setlist FM. Highlights from the spot included a combative combative acapella. They spaced the words out in this article. Freestyle that took aim at, as I say, Ye, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Tony Lanez, and Dame Dash, and more, along with fan favorites hits as Run This Town, Empire State of Mind, Excuse Me Miss, the story of OJ, the public service announcement. Then comes Midsummer. Miss Beyonce Knowles has 3 concerts lined up at Yankees. He called him Mr. Beyonce Knowles. 3 concerts lined up at Yankee Stadium from the 10th to the 12th. And mind you, the 12th was laid on at the last minute. Tickets for the SoFi Stadium Reasonable Doubt show officially went on sale to the general public on Friday, June 12th at 10 a.m. local time through Ticketmaster, but are available now on trusted secondary marketed sites like SeatGeek. Man, we recommend sites with 100% buyer guarantee, so you know your transition is safe. Your tickets will arrive on time. That makes sense. You get gagged, especially the money you be spending on these shows. You definitely want to make sure that you get your tickets for that show and that you don't lose that money and some third-party shit going on. You don't want to lose that. He's still doing his thing. 56 years old. Again, his shows And he's doing one-offs. He's doing like maybe like 3 nights. He's doing a one-off in LA, and probably I think he might be doing. I might have it here. I think he might be doing something in Paris. Insert joke there in word in Paris. Thank you. I said it for you. So Jay will also do a concert in Paris. So he's doing everything there. He's expanding his upcoming performances slate with the announcement headlining concerts dubbed Jay-Z 30 in Paris and, of course, in Los Angeles. This past Tuesday, Roc Nation announced the Grammy Award-winning artist will perform in Paris at Stade de France. I messed up the word. I'm not French. On Thursday, September 10th, and of course, SoFi Stadium, October 23rd. Tickets for Jay-Z Paris and Los Angeles shows will be available beginning, whichever happened Thursday, June 11th, through Citi and MasterCard pre-sales. Listen, y'all, you know what I mean? A lot of people, again, shitted on Jay and his freestyle and his age and all that stuff. And of course, it looked like they're booking him, and it looks like his show is going to be sold out in LA and in Paris. Because here's the thing, you don't get a lot of him all the time. He's very smart in that. He doesn't oversaturate himself. So you rarely hear from him. You rarely see him. He's up in the cut, you know, chilling. You know, he's not really doing a lot. So when he makes an appearance somewhere like a Roots picnic, or he's doing the 3 days in the Bronx, or Stardust 2 days in the Bronx, a lot of people still, you know, go and want to see him because he still has that lore. You know, he's still Jay-Z. He's still that dude. He still can drop the bar. You want to hear the classics, and that's what people want to hear. They want to hear the classics. And although, again, you know, Brooklyn Finest won't be the same because Biggie's not there. You still got Mary J. Blige come off of Reasonable Doubts, and you still got the Blueprint and everything, and, you know, Ye can't join him because he's beefing with Ye. But you know you're going to get a good show. You know you're going to get surprises, and he still got it. He still has that following. So at the age of 56, he's still doing this thing. He's still selling out stadiums, not small arenas or clubs, stadiums. And even with the discounts, the prices are still mad expensive. So he's doing it very smart. He's not oversaturating it. He knows that at the end of the day, like, he can't do like a 6 months thing. He probably don't got that in him no more. You know, so he pick and choose, has his strategy. Like, all right, I'm going to go up in the Bronx. I'm going to do Yankee Stadium. Legendary. Boom. It's bigger than a garden. It's the summertime. People come out. They see him. All right, SoFi Stadium, L.A. I've been in L.A. in 9 years. Hit up their stadium. It's going to sell out. I'm going to go to Paris. Go to Paris. Get my international people. Boom. You're going to make loot off of that and keep it moving. He's not going to do a Hard Knock Life type tour like he did when he was younger, because he's celebrating just an album. And he's doing it, you know, a night here, 2 or 3 nights there, and that's it. He's very smart on how he is pretty much managing himself, so to speak. It's a great strategy. You know, then he'll disappear for a while. Then he'll pop up somewhere down the line on somebody's track or whatever. Because sometimes you can overdo it. Sometimes you can oversaturate yourself with the public and people get tired of you. Like, all right, man, go somewhere. But if you dip and dodge, you pop up, that's your location here, then you dip out of sight, it makes it worth it when you see them in public. When you pay that ticket, it's worth it. Like, man, we don't know next time we're going to see Jay. You know what I mean? You know, we have no clue if he's going to continue. We have no clue when he's going to pop up on somebody's album or whatever. Like I said last week, I think the Roots Picnic was a sparring act to get himself ready for the big shows in New York, in LA, in Paris. You know what I mean? To kind of test things out like a comic does before he does a Netflix series, a Netflix show, or a Hulu show. They go to small clubs, they test out the jokes, get a cadence together, see what the audience like or don't like, or, you know, case like that, and then they, boom, They can go back, review it, like, all right, they didn't like this one or like that one. I'm hit them with this, that, and the other. And I guarantee you, the 3 shows in the Bronx is going to be, each one is going to be different. 1, because he's going to make sure, and 2, he's going to be like, yeah, that didn't work the first night. You know what I mean? It didn't work the second night, or it did work, or I'm going to use this again. I'm just going to do a tweaking. But like I said, he's very smart with the strategy he has on promoting himself. It is not oversaturated. And he knows, in my opinion, he knows his limits. He knows, like, I can't compete doing a 6-month tour. Like, I'm just going to do something short and sweet, make my cash. And it's still successful. Probably his 3 shows, or total 5 shows, no, 6 shows, including the Roots, probably is high, made a whole lot of money for him. A whole lot of money. And for the promotions, whether the Roots or his individual tours, are probably up there with the tour that's going for 6 or 7 months at a time. You know what I mean? And it's not, and you don't even know who he's going to have on the show with him. And that's the fun part. When he goes to L.A., who's he going to bring out? He might bring out Snoop Dogg, what the fuck? In New York, he might bring out Nas. He might bring out Mary J. singing a hook, Can't Knock the Hustle. You never know. And it'll be dope. And I doubt this will happen because this is fresh. Squash his shit with Kanye and have Kanye come out. You know what I mean? But it's too fresh because he just got finished dissing him, so I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. You never know. But, yo, man, like I said last week, it shouldn't be no age gap. If you still got it, and he does, do what you got to do. MASTA, KILLA, RAKIM, KRS-ONE, they still doing their thing. They still rapping. You got it. Do it. Whatever talent you have, you got that talent, you do it. You know what I'm saying? It's an interesting one. CeELO Green says he wants a versus matchup with LAURYN Hill. Quote, that's my twin sister. Nah, she's better looking than you are, homies. Y'all look nothing like. She fine and, whatever. The FU singer is explaining why he would choose to face off with Hill in a future versus event. CeELO says he'd most like to go head-to-head in a versus event with LAURYN Hill. In the latest episode on another show, the 51-year-old music excuse me, musician, sorry, I caught my throat, explained why Hill 51 would be an ideal counterpart in a versus showdown. Quote, I will probably have to go against LAURYN Hill, but she's like my sister, and we were all together at the Kanye West show too. So shout out to the Queen, Miss Hill, he said near 40-minute mark of the interview. Quote, but it would just be nothing but love affair because we did our first tours together. He continued. We've been friends for years. She's a Gemini twin just like me, so that's my twin sister, but she does rap and sing at the same time. I think I would have to be paired up with somebody who has somewhat of the same dynamic. I can see that. Quote, and he continues, and you know what it is? Because we only feel like we know them, we know the audience as far as the song can. Let me back up here. The host says, my bad, y'all. The host praised Tank and Tyrese March verses, saying that it brought audience so much joy thanks to the music and the roasting. Then CeELO says, you know what it is? Because we only feel like we know them as far as the songs can expose or show us to see them, Green said. But to see them in real life, their charm, their charisma, comedic timing, and personalities is just so much more humanizing. That's why it was so pleasant to see. Shout out to Tank, shout out to Tyrese, both good friends of mine, both talented leading men. Okay, that's interesting. I never think put those two together. CeELO and LAURYN Hill. But you break it down that way, they both do sing, they both do rap. That would be interesting. And again, make it a versus. I get it, it's all love, y'all friends and family, I get that. But make it competitive. Make it like, all right, go hit for hit, not just all kumbaya the whole time. Then that's just a joint show together. That's not a versus. A versus like, play your hit, I play my hit. You play your hit, I play my hit. You go back and forth. You know what I mean? And like just like, oh, I got something for you, and just come out hitting it. Not just the whole time you're holding hands and y'all just kind of singing each other's tracks. That's not a versus. That's just a joint show. A versus is you're competing. You know what I mean? You're talking to the audience, you're like, all right, I got you. How about this? And you just, come out with something from Gnarls Barkley or something from your solo joint or whatever. That'll be dope. And it is different. It's unique because I never thought to see those two paired together doing a versus, but I like to see something like that. You got two heavyweights right there going at each other, and it's just different. It is a lot different. They both do sing, and they both do rap. But my question is, not my question. My statement is just, make it competitive. And that's one thing I think is lacking, is the competitiveness. We get at your friends, we get at your close, but make it where you just go at each other. It's all in love, but it's like a one-on-one game of basketball. You play against your best friends. You want to win, you know what I mean? And you doing everything. You trash talking them. And then when it's all said and done, like, all right, yo, good game. One's happy, one's not, but you move on. Y'all still friends. Make it competitive. Go hit for hit. And like I said, you do it, especially if you're doing it online. Let the fans vote it, vote for it or something. Let's make this fun. Make it intriguing. Make it competitive. That's a word I can't say enough of. Make it competitive. And make it fun, like I said. There you go. But that's a pairing I never thought of. And I think that'd be kind of cool. Because they both do rap and they both do sing. So that's something interesting. All right, moving on. Jay Leno, Stephen A. Smith, and my boy Mike's favorite comedian, Louis C.K., among big names set for Bill Maher's Mark Twain Prize ceremony. So stand-up comedian Louis C.K., former late-night show host Jay Leno, and TV commentator Stephen A. Smith are among the big names who will participate in the celebration of Bill Maher when the veteran stand-up comedian and TV talk show host received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor from the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts on Sunday, June 28th. Others set to participate in the ceremony in Washington, D.C., which will be filmed for subsequently streaming on Netflix, include stand-up comedian Whitney Cummings, actor Woody Harrelson, media mogul Ariana Huffington, and singer-songwriter John Mellencamp, all of whom were regular guests on Maher's HBO program Real Time with Bill Maher. The Mark Twain Prizes named the 19th century writer who was born Samuel Langhorne Clemens, who was created in 1998 to annually honor one of the world's greatest humorists. Previous recipients include Richard Pryor in 98, Jonathan Winters in 99, Carl Reiner in 2000, and it goes on, and Eddie Murphy in 2015. Bill Cosby in 2009 rescinded his in 2018. Conan O'Brien in 2025. Now, I'm going to stop here because what's interesting is that I read it, not because of Bill Maher receiving it, is the fact that Louis C.K. name popped up. Now, if you know anything about Louis C.K., this dude admitted of kind of doing some horrible things sexually to women, which could kind of sort of got him Me Too'd. But here he is on the main stage, honoring someone, and they didn't blackball him. But old Cosby had to rescind his award, and you can't see him go anywhere without being booed. But Louis C.K. openly admitted, when allegations came out, it was like, yeah, I did that. I mistreated my power and did things I shouldn't have said or said things or whatever. And here he is, warm applause. Come on back and help present an award and honor Bill Maher. And that's okay. I forgot all the deviant things you did and all that stuff. But old Cos, who served time in jail and gave up his award and the whole nine, he's blackballed for life. Old Louis C.K., white man, by the way, All this got Me Too'd and got his show taken off, but yet he's coming back. He's actually, I think he might be getting a Netflix special coming up or something. But they're embracing him again. It's like, it's okay, white man. It's all right. You can do what you do, and we'll let you back in. You had to lay low for a while, but you come on back. Now, I heard he's like part Mexican or whatever, but they just own that. We know what it is. So I read it because this dude is allowed back in the spotlight, honoring people and all that stuff, when he was admitted that he was just, he was Me Too. I think the key thing was he would, I ain't gonna get into it. Just Google it and you'll find out. This is kind of this very inappropriate with women. Very inappropriate. And he admitted it to it. And now that he's just like coming back in the mainstream. So I find it kind of funny where he admitted to shit. He was wrong. They kind of slapped him on the wrist and kind of put him on a punishment, on a timeout. Now they're just like easing him back into the public eye and easing him back onto the main stage, and as if nothing happened. Wow, white America must be good to be white. Because I'm telling you, like they did Cosby and anybody else, when you're done, you're done. And Louis C.K. admitted that he did something inappropriately that he shouldn't have did. Got his shows canceled and all that stuff. Put him on timeout. Probably put him on administrative leave with pay. But he's back. And he's honoring people in awards and a very prestigious, prestigious ceremony here. You know what I'm saying? And he's very controversial. So I find it kind of interesting that they allow his presence there after what he did, because you get Me Too, you get Me Too. Like what you did, is wrong. But they just, some of me, like other people, like they forgave him. I don't know how that works, but I read that because I just found it very interesting. Like, wow, they just let you back in, man. So what you admitted to it's okay. I don't know. You guys tell me. Look it up and find out, because I don't know. I don't know. I'm perplexed. Idris Elba says James Bond doesn't need to be woke and audiences won't go for a black male. Idris Elba is addressing the long-lasting Hollywood rumor that he was in the running to play James Bond and sharing that he believes a black actor in the role is not a realistic thing. In an interview with British GQ, published this past Monday, June 8th, the Masters of the Universe star 53 spoke about the years of speculation that he might play 007, which began in 2008 at the Italian premiere of Quantum of Solace, when Daniel Craig said that Barack Obama's victory in the U.S. presidential election could mean Hollywood was ready for a black James Bond. Quote, "It was never legit. It was always just a rumor," Elba said of the speculation. It always felt that it was not a realistic thing. James Bond was written how he was written for a reason, but I was complimented by it. He told the outlet, and also I think in realistic terms, some markets just don't go for that. Bond is big all over the world, and audiences won't all go for a black male, an African male playing Bond. That's not what they like in their culture, period. Bond is so unrealistic, so a hint of reality is good, but let's not try and make it woke, he said. I think you've got to be pure to what it is, escapism. Don't try and answer the world's taste, just be Bond. Elba was floated as a potential casting choice for Bond before Craig's run as Bond came to an end. In a leaked 2014 email, Sony Pictures executive Amy Pascal allegedly wrote that she felt Idris should be the next Bond, according to reports. Bond was last played by Daniel Craig in 2021, and No Time to Die. Others who have played 007, of course, Sean Connery, David Nevin, George Lesenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Pierce Bronson. It shouldn't have to be that way. It shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't. Look, it's a shame that things got to be based on race, color, creed, him or her. If that person's a good actor, then that person should play it. And I think he would be good for it. And I think a lot of other actors, black, white, or other, would be good for Bond. But he has a point. It was created a certain way by someone who's seen it that way. You know what I mean? They see him as a Caucasian male who's English or whatever. And it's always been that way for decades. And here's a point. People are not ready for stuff like that. They're just not. It was crazy. It's a fictional character. And people will get bent out of shape about it. I remember Michael B. Jordan and the Fantastic Four, not the most recent one before that, where he played Johnny Storm. And, Johnny Storm was white, blonde hair. Michael B. Jordan, obviously, is a black man. And all hell broke loose about it. And I think the movie Off the Strength of That it didn't make money, wasn't successful. Because people do not believe in anything outside of what they are seeing. So if you want to make Superman Asian, or African American, or Hispanic, you're not going to go for that. If you want to make Wonder Woman Asian, Hispanic, African American, you're not going to go for that. They're not going to go for that for James Bond, make him Asian, Hispanic, African American, Muslim, whatever. They're not going to go for that. And these are fictional characters. There are people who get outraged by that. And, you know what I mean? Get outraged if Conan O'Brien decided to play Malcolm X. That's when you get outraged. But don't get outraged over a fictional character and making them a different sex or making them a different race or another religion. People get upset about that. They really do. That's not how they look. They don't look like that in the comics. They made it up. They can be whatever they want to be. They're not real. And so he has a valid point. Like, the world itself, not just the United States, is not ready for that. What you grew up on is white Englishmen playing James Bond. I would love to see maybe, you can't even have a woman, they'll get upset. Can't do that. I would love to see someone of a different race, color, creed, him or her, play Bond, and something a little different. Why not? Just try it out. Why not? You know what I mean? But he has a point. I think he would make a great one. But it's not going to happen. That's fine. I love the show Luther. You know what I mean? So you don't need Bond. Keep playing Luther, man. Luther is a dope show. Y'all know, if y'all not up on Luther, Idris Elba, go find it. And it's like a good series, like between 3 to 5 episodes. It's good. And that's like, I think that's the first thing I saw Idris Elba in outside of The Wire was Luther. It's just different. It's dark. It's a little slow pace, but it's good though. And he's good in it. And I think, like I said, it wasn't on this show. My previous show, they're coming out with a Luther movie, I think. Another one. The last one was in 23. And it's great writing, acting, and the whole nine. And although I would love to see him play Bond, I agree with him. I don't think the world would want to see that. You don't need to be woke. You don't need no message. Just, why can't we just have someone play a character based off their talent? Why does the distraction have to be, oh, they're this, they're that, they're this, instead of, oh my gosh, they're great at this part. They are great actors, great actresses. It's perfect. Like they get the essence of whatever, instead of, no, well, they're this, they're gay or it doesn't matter, man. Play the fucking part. You know what I mean? If they're good at it, they're good at it. But I think we're so caught up on visual that it takes away from the character itself. So it's disappointing that he's not going to do it. But then again, you never know. But he has a point. I don't think the world is ready for something like that. I really don't. I agree with him. I really don't think they are. People they'll lose their minds. They will lose their minds. Therese, Bad Boy star Teresa Randall ex alleges he found her smoking crack in his room. Inside her restraining order claims against the former Bad Boy star from alleged break-ins to a shocking closet confession. TRACY Randall is facing a new round of legal troubles after her former boyfriend obtained a temporary restraining order against her, alleging a series of increasingly alarming encounters that culminated with him allegedly finding the actress inside his room, sitting in a closet with his dog, smoking crack cocaine. According to the court documents filed by Randall's ex, Dario Palladini, obtained by this article, the former Bad Boy star has been harassing him since the couple split in 2024. Palladini claims he returned home on June 1st and discovered Randall inside the residence without permission, and the following he alleges she was sitting in the closet with my dog, smoking crack. He further claims she appeared startled by his arrival and told him she believed he was in jail. The allegations don't stop there. Palladini claims that when he demanded she leave the property, Randall became agitated and began making incoherent statements. According to the petition, the confrontation had escalated when she allegedly threw a can of vegetables that struck him in the head after he threatened to contact the police. Officers were ultimately called to the scene, and Palladini claims Randall was removed from the property. Randall became a familiar face throughout the 1990s thanks to standout performances in Malcolm X, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Space Jam, and the hugely successful Bad Boy franchise alongside Will Smith and Martin Lawrence playing Martin's wife. She later reprised the role in Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys for Life before being replaced by Tasha Smith in the franchise's fourth installment. The restraining order found also referenced an early alleged incident on May 18th where Palladini claimed he woke up to find Randall inside the apartment and believed she was under the influence because she immediately began cleaning his home while insisting he owed her money. He further alleges she threatened to shoot him before swinging a metal pole from the medical bed, striking him in the shoulder. Excuse me. According to the filing, the encounter resulted in Randall's arrest. The new allegations arrived just months after another domestic violence case involving Randall made headlines. In March, she was arrested on suspicion of felony corporal injury to a spouse or a cohabitant. That case was later dropped due to insufficient evidence. Before that, she was arrested in October 2024 in connection with an alleged assault investigation, though prosecutors ultimately declined to pursue charges. A judge has granted Palladini a temporary restraining order with a hearing scheduled for June 23rd. The filing concludes with a plea that Randall is addicted to drugs and needs help, a claim that has not been independently verified. Of course, like I always says, his side, her side, somewhere in the middle is the truth. That's a lot. Because you heard his side of it, and he's saying all this shit. We haven't heard her side of it and what it is. It's very, very outlandish. Found her in the closet with the dog smoking crack cocaine. That's some shit right there. And I mean, if she needs to help, get her some help. If he just saying shit because he mad at her, that's a whole nother story. But that's a very startling accusations to hear. And you kind of wonder what happened, who did what to whom. Excuse me. But like I said, her side, his side, so in the middle is the truth. And I'm sure we'll get more information probably as of June 23rd. When in terms of the temporary, I guess it'll be temporary paperwork of, temporary paperwork, in terms of keeping her away from him. That's crazy. But again, there's no insufficient evidence that she is going through something. That could just be someone who's angry with her, and so forth. So we'll find out about the restraining order, temporary restraining order, that's happening in June. But I just found that kind of very interesting. And Teresa Randall was right everywhere in the 90s. Everywhere. Sugar Hill, the Bad Boy movies, like I said, Malcolm X, Beverly Hills Cop 3, on and on and on. She was a huge staple in the 90s. It's a shame that she's going through this, but again, like I said, it's his side. We don't know the truth, at all. It's his side, her side, somewhere in the middle of everybody is the truth. But I just found that kind of interesting. And hopefully we'll get her side come June 23rd when they go back to court, in reference to the temporary restraining order. All right, one more. Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan insults teachers who are still making minimum wage in a chat with Marcelo Hernandez. Tracy Morgan said on a Variety and CNN Actors on Actors that he can't stand teachers and insults those who are still making minimum wage. Tracy Morgan is facing backlash for disparaging comments about teachers while speaking with Saturday Night Live's Marcelo Hernandez for Variety's and CNN's Actors on Actors series. In a clip posted by Variety, the conversation starts with Hernandez speaking in jest about getting in trouble at school for being mischievous and talking too much. Morgan defended his behavior at the time, saying they didn't understand you. You had a sense of humor, and they couldn't control that. God gave you that. Well, Hernandez took the opportunity to point out that he is now getting paid for mischief. Excuse me. Morgan followed up by taking a swipe at teachers who are, quote, still making minimum wage before taking a sip from his mug. No, Hernandez shouted with a seemingly uncomfortable laugh. He continued, you know how much them teachers probably making right now? Morgan asked, to which Hernandez responded, man, not enough. It's not hard to believe that any of those who work in elementary schools are not being paid what they deserve when you consider the students they are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and the fact that these teachers are spending their own money on school supplies. Morgan added that he can't stand teachers while belittling their ceiling in their profession. Quote, I can't stand teachers, he said. You know why? Because they have a ceiling. They have a limit. That's all they're ever going to be, man. I teach my kids, sky's the limit. Well, and of course people made comments and didn't like it and none of that stuff. So the first thing I'm sure you're going to say, and what I'm thinking, was he joking? Was it all in a joke? Was he just being Tracy Morgan and so forth? And sometimes you can say a joke and be joking around by sounding serious, but in your mind, you're being humorous and being funny. Then again, he might have been telling us he might have been felt that way. All right, let's do this. Let's just say he meant it. So what? That's his opinion. Why are we getting mad? Again, people said some nasty stuff in the comments to him and about him and so forth. Right or wrong, that's his opinion. He has the right to say what he feels and feel what he says. He has that right. That's him. You know what I mean? If he feels as though that there's a limit and he don't like him, that's his opinion. He has that right to feel that way and say it. You can't get mad at him. Again, everyone has their own opinion. I just discussed this recently. Whether you like it or not, that's his opinion. He has a right to say it. He has a right to feel that way. And if he feels as though that the teachers are wasting their time and whatever, and they have a limit, that's on him. As foolish and crazy as it may sound, that's his opinion. That's what he feels. You gotta run. You gotta run with that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, that's what you feel. On the flip side, you flip the script, Money Grip. Now he could have been kind of joking in his own way, and you know people that don't have to be to be joking. They might say sarcastic shit or stuff in his mind. He's joking. He's thinking, y'all know I'm a comedian. I say outlandish stuff. I'm joking. Like, I'm joking. Now, he, you know, like, he feels as though, he may feel as though he doesn't need a disclaimer to see that he's joking. But in his mind, he might be figuring, I'm Tracy Morgan. You know I'm a goofball. I say outlandish shit. I say crazy shit. I say whatever. I'm a comedian. Don't take it too seriously. That's probably in his mind without putting a disclaimer out there. So we don't know. Only he knows. We can assume that he meant it because he wasn't laughing and looked serious when he said it because of what he showed. Sorry. But we'll never know. Look, like I said, that's his opinion. I don't know if he meant it or not, but teachers are extremely underpaid. They are. And God bless teachers, professors, or whoever to take the time out to teach other people's kids. They have the strength and the courage and the time and the patience to do that. Because you don't know other people's kids. Sorry, my throat's dry. You don't know other people's kids. And you know how they act. You know how they get. You know how your kids act. You heard the story. You know how your kids act. And they can't do nothing like you can do to your own kid or do to their own kids. I mean, they got to be patient. They got to stay within the rules. You know, they got to, you know, color within the lines. No pun intended. So I commend them. And they should get paid more. I think what we pay athletes, we should pay teachers. Teachers are really, really extremely underpaid. We need to really, that's something that, that is something that they need to do, increase staff for teachers, you know, because they do a lot of dirty work, man. They get, outside of the parents, they get the kids prepared, and they have that patience. We don't have that patience with our own kids. We can say we want to say to our kids, get our kids. They got to be patient with our kids. You know what I mean? Like, they can't cross that line, you know, so they got to be patient. They got to slow the pace down and teach them and prepare them also. And get them to listen and get them to focus. When they're upset coming into school or something's bothering them or whatever from home, teachers have to deal with that. And they are increasingly underpaid. So that needs to change immediately. Do I think he was joking? I don't know. Sorry. Throat's dry, so I apologize for the coughing. I don't know. But I just think that it's his opinion. It's his opinion. And sometimes we don't like to hear people's opinions. So it's and sometimes controversy creates cash, and sometimes there's a method to people's madness when they make comments like that. But if you press me and you really want to ask me any question, I think he was. I think he was joking. I think he really was. I think he was joking. And if he wasn't, that's his opinion. We can't get mad at it, and nothing's going to change of me not being a fan of his or anything, or not watching up the new season of The Fallen Rods of Reggie Dinkins. I still watch it. Again, that's it. That's his opinion. If you feel as though, and he doesn't like him for that, but I think he was joking. If you press me, I think he was joking. It's just, he didn't do it with a laugh or something. He just did it with a straight face. But in his mind, he's thinking, I'm Tracy Morgan. You know, I joke all the time. Well, I'm going to get somebody pregnant. I mean, I'm going to get them pregnant. You know what I mean? So, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to get out of here soon. I get some water. You got to take it with a grain of salt and not feed into it. And like I said, so what? If he said it, he got to deal with that. We got to start getting mad at people's opinions, whether we like it or not. You don't got to like it, but that's his opinion, and that's it. Because I'm sure there's some stuff that you said or feel that's unfavorable to others, or whatever it is. So he's no different than anybody else. But I think because he's in the spotlight of who he is, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? So, all right, that's it. I talked your ear off long enough. Thank you so much this week for joining me on Who Is Kyle Graham podcast. Back up next week. Annual Father's Day rant. We got to that. Why is hip hop so much in love with the mafia lifestyle? That's in 2 weeks. Next week, annual Father's Day rant. My apologies. Next time I have some water in there because my throat is dry from all the talking. But thank you so much. Remember, get at me on all social media. Who is Kyle Graham? Remember, press the subscribe button. Amazon, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Deezer, iHeart, and Who is Kyle Graham podcast.riverside.com. Comments, questions, get at me there. You have a plethora of ways of getting that Who is Kyle Graham podcast. Appreciate your time. Remember, stay positive, keep your head up, stay focused. Continue to believe whatever higher power you believe in. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Appreciate you. Everyone, have a good week. And I'll talk to you then. And remember, this has been a KG John production. Later.